And what I found out was like, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And so custody, control, securities, derivatives, who ultimately holds the value? Well, by way of metals, I realized that there's this technology coming from XRP, Ripple Labs.
And I just wanted to come meet him, talk to him, and I'm actually started an LLC with him, and I'm moving forward with onboarding my XRP holdings into Digital Wealth Partners.
Does that mean that you're going to be custodying your assets with Anchorage Digital?
Yes.
Almost all the good podcasts, when they use video clips, they talk about trust. I think you have to have the infrastructure behind your platform and the trust to do it too, including the people. There's so many people on the board of directors and in key leadership positions with Ripple. Those people didn't leave those big jobs if they didn't get probably additional insight that we don't get, that see the future as well.
When there's smoke, there's definitely fire. And when we see the former 43rd treasurer move from her cush job to now working at a fintech startup like Ripple, It makes it think that there's definitely something very special about this company.
In this video, I interview a few XRP legends at Jake Claver's Beyond Broke Mastermind Group meetup the evening ahead of his Digital Fusion Summit conference in Dallas. There was a common theme amongst these three interviews, and that was the digital asset XRP. I'm gonna let these guys paint you a picture on the only digital asset with legal clarity here in the US. Thanks for tuning in. Love you mucho.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Dallas, Texas, and I've got none other than B. Hodlin. Thank you for sharing your time with me, sir. What are you doing here in Dallas?
Just recently joined the Carbon 2 group with Jake. And so I'm here to meet all my co-members and just have a good time and make some friends.
I love making friends, especially in this XRP community. I think that's what's bringing us together. It's a tight-knit family, a global, decentralized family. On the topic of that, because I see your XRP shirt, what is it about XRP that has caught your attention? It's been a rough battle these past few years. What's keeping you grounded?
Years ago, I came in to precious metals investing. And what I found out was like, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And so custody, control, securities, derivatives, who ultimately holds the value? And a thing came up called rehypothecation. And so by way of coming from the metals investing, I started reading about digital ledger technology, so on and so on. Read the white paper from Bitcoin years ago, probably 2013. My father had been an early investor and I was skeptic. 10 years went by. I never bought a Bitcoin, but I was always interested, kept reading. Well, by way of metals, I realized that there's this technology coming from XRP, Ripple Labs for immediate settlement in whatever asset on the ledger. So anything to anything. And so in my mind, I realized like, okay, I've got this precious metal sitting here and maybe it can be exchanged for something digital to go somewhere else when I actually want to offload that.
You're thinking that XRP could be the bridge for moving value when you save derivatives. Is there a there where XRP is then the software solution or blockchain solution that's accounting for all of that value?
Yes, that's the easy answer. I think at the end of the day, gold is money, everything else is credit. I think it was JP Morgan that said that. That's compliments to Mario and Mineko 64. I think you know him. I might be having lunch with him this summer, I'm hoping.
Really?
Yeah, really good guy. I watch the metals guys, Andy Scheckman.
Jason Cousins.
I do know Jason Cousins, and my wife is a Glint funded card owner. So we've got that in the family, which is good.
Sounds like there's a very contrarian-like mindset at the B. Hodlin household.
One side of us is very contrarian. We've got another very good American at home that likes to spend, and she's very good at that. So if I get it right, she's going to be all right.
So we got B. Hodlin and B. Spending.
Yeah, no, yeah. Be broke if we're not careful with that. She is coming to XRP Las Vegas, so get ready.
Ooh, all right, I can't wait to beat the queen.
Me neither. But it's great to see you, and love you mucho.
Love you mucho, B. Hodlin. Thank you so much. What brings you here, sir?
I started with Bitcoin several years ago. Everybody was telling me Bitcoin was going nowhere. It's fool's gold. And I bought some of it. Every one of my friends told me it was not the asset to have. Put your money in other places. And over the years, Bitcoin appreciated. And now the next coin that's out there that's going to, I see, overtake Bitcoin is XRP. So I started buying XRP and just accumulated it over the last 5 years. And through TikTok and other media sources, I found Jake. And Jake is such a personal person. Does deep dives into all the technicals and the fundamentals and financials. And he's such a personal person. He relates to people that are the small fish in the pond. And I just wanted to come meet him, talk to him, and I'm actually started an LLC with him. And I'm moving forward with onboarding my XRP holdings into Digital Wealth Partners.
Does that mean that you're going to be custodying your assets with Anchorage Digital?
Yes, hopefully within the next couple of days. But I've got all the paperwork started. I've actually, my LLC has been finalized, and now it's just the onboarding part. But
Congratulations, Tim. What would you recommend for those in the audience that are interested in learning about digital assets, but are still hesitant to get their toes wet?
do your research, but I would also recommend that you tune into Jake Claver every Monday and Wednesday. He talks to people about what's going on. This coin, XRP, is going to be life-changing, and I just want people to embrace it, to change the future for their family and their generational wealth.
What do you think is so life-changing about XRP?
From the top, the President of the United States listed XRP as the first cryptocurrency that's going to be on the strategic reserve. All the other things that are intertwined with XRP, it is going to be the coin of the future. It's going to be peer-to-peer. It's cross-border payments. I think right now we're at the bottom. People should buy it right now. All of you people, take an opportunity, take a chance. Start watching Jake and other people that know really what the fundamentals are about XRP and buy it. You won't regret it, I promise you.
Awesome. Tim, I really appreciate you sharing your time with me here. I hope you have a great rest of your stay in Dallas, Texas, and looking forward to seeing you at the top.
Thank you for following XRP and keep it going. Let's go, XRP Army.
What is it about XRP and blockchain that has just captured your attention?
I tell my friends I'm an evangelist in some ways, maybe a little bit too much, but all you have to believe is that the way money moves is going to change. And that's the first premise. I think the second premise is that you have to believe, is there a leading company that has the technology, the infrastructure, the secondary relationships to be the driver for that change? And no offense to Vitalik Buterin, I think Brad Garlinghouse has a little more cachet with the big banks.
I think you're right there. No disrespect to Vitalik, but there's definitely a way to talk to the legacy banks, the incumbents, and I think the way that Brad Garlinghouse and those at Ripple are framing themselves, it's the way that needs to be done. What is it about XRP that's so transformative to the current way that money's sent around the world or that data is shared from financial institution to financial institution?
The velocity of it, certainly, which comes with the increased liquidity. We know that there's been several situations where that could have saved some of the banks, but really it's going to liberate them in the future. I've heard several analogies with the internet. Once we got out of the mail system, we went to the internet. The velocity of communication increased. I think money's going to do the same thing in so many ways. Derivatives, debt, all kinds of things.
Shifting gears away from blockchain, where do you consume your information? Because it's not mainstream media.
No, it's not. The usual suspects, many of which are in this room, yourself included. Really, that's where I get the bulk of it. I do follow the same people plus some others. There's several different good people that post on Twitter. So I've created my own little mail thread, if you will, on Twitter and follow a lot of those guys.
What are your thoughts on the future of the platform Twitter, now known as X?
Yeah,
we've heard that it could be the everything app. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
There's lots of rumors on that. Certainly there's lots of rumors on that. There's rumors on Amazon. There's rumors on all kinds of big platforms. Something's going to happen. And I guess if I have to follow my own logic, do you follow the people that are in the best position to be able to deliver their goods and services in a trustful way? I think we hear almost all the good podcasts when they use video clips, they talk about trust. I think you have to have the infrastructure behind your platform and the trust to do it too, including the people. There's so many people on the board of directors and in key leadership positions with Ripple that those people didn't leave those big jobs if they didn't get probably additional insight that we don't get, that see the future as well.
When there's smoke, there's definitely fire. And when we see the former 43rd treasurer move from her cush job to now working at a fintech startup like Ripple, it makes it think that there's definitely something very special about this company. Now, for those in the audience that are on the fence about crypto, what's your go-to pitch about crypto or XRP that you think would benefit those in the audience tuning in today?
I shared a story with you. I read a thread on a guy that had dinner with an old friend of his in New York City. They went to a steakhouse. His goal for the dinner was to ask him how he made his money. The guy flew in on a private jet. They went to High-End Steakhouse, and he expected to get this complex discussion going, and he said it was really simple. He bought Intel, but he bought it early, which is where we are in this technology, and he bought a lot. So we still have the opportunity to buy a lot or a fair amount relative to where we believe it's going to be in the future. So I think I'm 60, so I'm not a spring chicken. There's not too many opportunities to have the return opportunity that this does also. Plus the community. It's very infectious, contagious.
It's a global, exciting, and very passionate community. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
I heard a funny story from VC Bill Ty. Bill mentioned on stage at a Wharton hosted event in New York at the Penn Club, the companies that win are the companies that kind of have a cult-like following.
Absolutely.
And here we are, XRP, Ripple, similar to a Tesla
Apple.
or Apple.
Yeah,
We're seeing that right here, and this is a testament of that community, that very passionate community. I appreciate you sharing your time with me, Dan. And it was
Nice to meet you, Ray.
It's very good to meet you in person, and I hope you have a great time here in Dallas.
We'll see you again.
And hopefully at XRP Las Vegas or sometime sooner rather than later.
Hopefully with a fatter wallet. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
See you.
I appreciate it. Thanks again. Thank you.